So I've been using Nothing Phon 2 for a few weeks now, and I have some thoughts. Specifically, why I would buy this phone over the Google Pixel 8. Now, if you haven't seen my last video, I talked about why I was sending the Pixel 8 back and discussed what phone I would buy next. So I talked about going with either the Pixel 8 Pro or the Nothing Phon 2. I eventually landed on Nothing Phon 2. After 3 weeks in, I definitely feel I made the right decision. It's not that Pixel 8 was a bad phone at all. It just ended up not being right for me. If you want to go check that video out to hear more about why, I'll drop a link to it down below. So let's jump into my impressions on Nothing Phon 2. First off, let's talk about price. So I think Nothing Phon 2 is priced fairly competitively when you look at the base model priced at $599, which comes with 128 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of RAM. With similar specs, the Google Pixel 8 currently comes in at $550, and the Samsung Galaxy S23 and base iPhone 15 are both priced at $799. I opted to upgrade to the $699 model that comes with 256 gigs of storage and 12 gigs of RAM. The main reason I upgraded was for the extra RAM, thinking that would help with performance, and I can tell you this phone runs great. If finding a deal is what you're looking for, I do think you're going to find more deals out there on other devices, especially Pixel devices, than you will for Nothing Phon 2. Google is just a larger company, is going to be able to compete more on price. So the build quality of Nothing Phon 2 is top notch. You get Gorilla Glass 5 on both the back and the front of the phone. You have aluminum side rails. The back glass has a subtle curve along the edges and features a see-through design showing off the unique Glyph interface. We'll talk more about the Glyph interface in a bit. In terms of feel in the hand, this phone feels great to hold. It feels light in the hand. It has a thin profile. The curved back glass and how the glass meets the side rails is seamless and great to hold. No hot spots or sharp edges on this phone. The design of this phone just looks amazing. The color of the back is a variety of medium to dark grays, and there's also a white version of this phone if you're interested in that. I love how you can see into the back of the phone where the wireless charging coil sits along with other components. It's a very innovative and clean looking phone. Now the one downside to this phone is grip. This might be the slickest phone I've ever held. I definitely don't trust myself to not drop this phone, and so I've been using the Spigen Ultra Hybrid Clear Case for added grip and drop protection. I'll follow up with a video showcasing that phone case here pretty soon. I'm also using a screen protector around the front, and I'll leave links to both the phone case and the screen protector I'm going with right now down below. However, this phone is slick. It actually somehow slid off a flat surface in my bathroom without me being anywhere nearby. There's a slight mark on the front screen from the drop, but otherwise it survived the fall just fine. A little scary though, I got to admit. But now the screen around the front looks amazing. Nothing Phon 2 features a 6.7-inch LTPO OLED HDR screen with an always-on display. The colors and image quality on the display look amazing with inky blacks and 1600 nits peak brightness, which is super bright and great for both indoor and outdoor viewing. I will say that when viewing in direct sunlight, it's not as bright as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but that is to be expected when you compare specs and price between those two phones. And I believe the iPhone 15 Pro Max has been rated at over 2500 nits peak brightness, so you would expect a difference. However, the screen on Nothing Phon 2 looks great. You can be confident that you're gonna get a good, solid screen. So in terms of performance, Nothing Phon 2 offers a 120 Hz display paired with 12 gigs of RAM, at least in this variant, and the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chipset. This phone runs buttery smooth. Everything from app load times to games runs super smooth, no hangups. One of the reasons I talked about sending the Pixel 8 back was because I experienced performance hangups, especially when it came to gaming. But with Nothing Phon 2, I haven't experienced any issues. Everything runs great. Even though the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor came out in mid-2022, it still runs amazing even in 2024. Nothing Phon 2 offers an under-the-display fingerprint sensor, which works fast to unlock your phone. You can also set up facial unlock, which does work with face coverings. For notifications, Nothing Phon 2 created a unique Glyph interface on the back of the phone. There are 33 addressable LED lighting zones to display for ringtones, notifications, timers, and more. To be honest, I haven't played around much with the Glyph interface. I think it's cool, but I'm not yet sure if it's truly a feature or more of a gimmick at this point. Let me know down in the comments if you want a video covering the Glyph interface. I think that's something that could be interesting as part of a long-term review. Around the back of the phone, you get a 50 megapixel main camera and a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera. The front includes a pinhole 32 megapixel selfie camera. So when it comes to the front facing cameras, I actually prefer the smaller pinhole sized camera to the dynamic island you find on the iPhone. I know the dynamic island contains additional sensors for increased security with face unlock, but I like the minimal look of the pinhole camera better. It's less intrusive when gaming or watching videos. I don't have any complaints when it comes to photo quality. Here are a few side-by-side photos shot on both Nothing Phon 2 and iPhone 15 Pro Max for comparison. Video records up to 4K 60 frames per second. Video quality is nice and sharp. And so the last thing I want to talk about is the software experience. So Nothing Phon 2 is essentially running stock Android with the skin on top. I personally like the look of the dot matrix pattern font and the skinned elements, but it's easy to switch back to the stock look if that's not your preference. Also, Nothing offers an additional icon pack on the Google Play Store that will add additional themed icons and also the ability to convert non-supported icons into the monochrome look and feel for a consistent look on your phone. So you definitely want to download that icon pack if you pick up Nothing Phon 2. I'm currently using the Nothing Phon theme on my phone, but we'll probably try changing the icons back to the default versions in the future. I've noticed that the monochrome icons aren't as readable or easy to sort through quickly in the app drawer. I do maintain a pretty minimal home screen, so I use the app drawer quite a bit. And sometimes it's hard to find the right app in the list quickly since they all kind of blend into each other. There's one feature I do miss from the Pixel 8, and that is the at-a-glance notifications. I like how Google implemented that feature on Pixel devices and would love to see something like that on other Android devices. But otherwise, I love how close to stock Android you get on this phone. Definitely not a fan of other UIs like One UI from Samsung, so definitely appreciate Nothing keeping this phone pretty close to the stock experience. Now you might argue with me that the look and feel is very different, and I can understand that, but the experience is pretty close in terms of the user interface and how it functions. Also, Nothing is offering 3 years of updates. They've already updated this phone to run Android 14, and that's the latest version at time of filming. Last thing I'll mention is battery. Nothing Phon 2 comes with a 4,700 milliamp hour battery, and I'm personally getting beyond all-day battery out of this phone, so I've had no issues with the battery. It also offers 45-watt fast charging to go from empty to full in under an hour. All right, so ultimately, why should you buy this phone? What are a few things to know before you buy? First off, I love the look and the feel of this device. It's very high quality. It has a very innovative look. The large 6.7-inch screen is great to use and interact with. The software experience being very close to stock is also attractive to me. And the performance of the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chip, along with the 120 Hz display, has this phone running buttery smooth. I don't think the camera system will win any awards. It shoots just fine for what I need. A couple downsides would be that this phone is very slippery. I think you'll probably find yourself needing a case for it. I haven't really used the Glyph interface since I've had it, so that feature might end up being more of a gimmick over time, but I do love the futuristic look of this phone. Personally, if I'm considering a Pixel device or Nothing Phon 2, at this point at least, I'm choosing the Nothing Phone. In terms of price, it falls right between the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro. It comes with more memory than Pixel 8, and I'm still not sure about the performance of the Google Tensor chip. I've heard a lot of negative reviews on the performance of that chip. Hey, I hope this video helped you in your purchasing decision. If it did, I'd love for you to subscribe, like this video. It goes a long way to helping out the channel, helping me to continue to make content like this. I'll leave links to this phone and everything else I mentioned below. I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.